Oh, they're so ready. They're ready. Bring it. We need change. We're done with the Tories.
Sir Keir Starmer, when asked very directly about the total siege of Gaza, essentially supported it. And that has shocked a lot of Labour Party members, hasn't it?
I know. I think it finally changed. He reworded it on an interview later on. I don't know if you saw that, but they can't get everything right at the minute. It's such a hard time. But the thing is about, getting back in government is the most important thing. And then you can fight about different issues you might disagree with. Keir Starmer will be, if he's going to be Prime Minister, he will be there for 4 years. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I think they are ready to govern. They most likely, I think, will win the next election. But the problem is they're going to govern the same way as the Tories. And I think the majority of people won't actually see any fundamental change to the living standards or how the country is run. And that's my worry. And I think Zara made a very good point before, I think, your caller. When you had Keir Starmer just on the LBC show supporting war crimes and then having to backtrack on it, it goes to show they are incompetent, but they will govern the next election. And you only have to look at the corporate donations they're receiving. All the people, all these big donors who support the Tory party are now putting the money into the Labour Party. You see Tory politicians now, openly supporting Starmer. And I think it goes to show that no fundamental change will really happen. And and so that's the point I want to make, yeah.
Well, interesting, Dan. I don't know if you heard Peter Kellner, the pollster and commentator earlier, who was saying that there was some polling done that he had been analysing, which showed that when Conservative voters were asked what they imagined a Labour government to be, the vast majority said that they didn't see Labour governing very differently to the Conservative Party. And his argument was, if Labour want to win the next general election, that's a good thing, because what the Conservatives have done in the past and exploited very effectively is making Conservative voters, or those who are undecided, fear Labour. So the very thing that you're concerned about might be the very thing that the Labour Party is trying to achieve.
The only thing is, I don't think there's any chance of, and there's been no example in history where a Labour Party comes in and is more progressive than what they actually ran on. I think, if anything, they'll move, once they get into government, they will move towards the right. And not in terms of social issues, in terms of like the economy. And I think, what's the point if you have a Labour Party, but if it's not going to change much at all? I think we're going to see sticking plasters and continued privatisation under the party.
Continued privatisation. There's definitely no. I don't think that's the case. Labour have the very reverse, actually. They've talked about a nationally owned green energy company. Oh, by the way, I just want to say that Team Myska are on it. You just talked about corporate donors, and producer Minty, yes, that's her real name, has just managed to get some names up. Gary Lubner, the former boss of Autoglass, has donated to Labour, as has Dale Vince, the founder of gas and electricity supplier Ecotricity, as has Sir Victor Blank, the former chairman of Lloyd's TSB. So they are not corporates themselves. I think these were made as private donations, but I take your point.
I would imagine they probably are ready to run and jump into the seat, but of course it's very easy to jump into the seat of a government who have been making different mistakes over the last few years, and then come in and do a very good job. It's easy to take over from a government doing a poor job and make quick, easy wins and come out smelling the roses. Whether or not they're up to it, I don't know. You look at the Conservatives, the challenges they've had. They had COVID, and then they had war in Ukraine, followed by high inflation, and all these things were out of their control. It wasn't something the British government had done wrong. These things were put upon them. Labour would never have wanted the relay. They would never have wanted to be in government when any of these challenges come up. And it's really easy to sit on the sidelines, isn't it, and throw, you should be doing this, you should do that. But
hang on, Labour would never have wanted to be in power when all those things happened. I don't think any party would want to be.
Well, no, of course they wouldn't
want to be there. I mean, just to be fair to them.
No, of course not. But no, exactly. And you've hit it on the nose there. Of course, nobody would have wanted to. But when the government is there and they're making these difficult decisions, it's very easy for the opposing party to sit there and throw all these allegations. Well, you're not doing this. You should have done this. Would
that's
Labour
their job. That's Her Majesty's opposition. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to hold.
Would Labour have done a better job? This is what people have got to ask themselves. Would Labour have done a better job? And I think the answer is no. And, let's see what they can do now the next few years. But they're going to get in now the next few years, and they're probably going to have nothing go wrong on their watch. They're not going to have any big challenges, which, let's face it, war in Ukraine, once in a generational sort of issue, pandemic, perhaps once in a lifetime for most people. Let's see what they have to come up with the next few years.
Do you think Labour will win?
Oh yeah. I've no doubt they will. Yeah, I've no doubt they'll probably win. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Do you mind me asking? You don't have to tell me. How have you voted in the past, and what are you intending? Do you know who you're intending to vote for now?
God, I've voted Tories for the last few years. I really don't know at the minute, if I'm honest. I feel like whatever I do, and similar to the last couple of general elections, I feel like you're voting for the best of a bad bunch, unfortunately. And regardless if it's left wing or right wing, they're both two sides of the same bird, aren't they? So
you're not alone, John, in Cheltenham. I mean, that's the message that's coming through loud and clear. Certainly this hour.
The polls for Starmer only started to take off around 2020 when Rachel Reeve, somebody I was always going to work at Goldman Sachs, joined to run the Treasury team. I mean, he's a one-trick pony. Rachel was never going to work for Goldman Sachs. It's like saying Boris was going to be Churchill. It's a very clever way of the PR machine framing leaders to be very successful, whatever it is you want to be.
She was at the Bank of England. And
she's a civil servant. Of course, we're voting for a civil servant. She has no idea how to make money. The only way the United Kingdom is going to make money is from business. We pay the bills. We fund the services everybody enjoys. They haven't got it now. They never will get it. If you can't grow the economy, there won't be an economy. There won't be hospitals. It can't come from tax. Okay, once you've spent the money on the assets, once you've disincentivized kids from getting high-paid jobs and taxed the nuts off them, nobody's going to be motivated to get the high-paid jobs because they're paying all the tax. They'll be left with nothing.
Understood. Paul and Brent, thank you very much indeed. Michelle and Malvern, you've got the last word.
Oh, they're so ready. They're ready. Bring it. We need change. We're done with the Tories. Let's just get on with it now, please. Yeah, they're so ready. Let's go with it.
Michelle in Malvern in Worcestershire. A place I love, actually. Thank you very much indeed.